This is what the future of events looks like. People are standing 2 meters apart from each other. They're all wearing face masks, and it all seems a little bit bleak, to be honest.
Following the outbreak of COVID-19, the world has been put on hold, and with social distancing measures being put in place, the first thing to go has been concerts and nightlife. But in an effort to bring back fun and normalcy, scientists at a university in Leipzig, Germany, have gathered thousands of volunteers for a large-scale experiment in the form of a concert, featuring the German musician Tim Bendzko, in order to trace how the coronavirus might spread at indoor events during the pandemic, and to model how risk might be minimised at these large events in the future. I'm on my way to my first concert since COVID, which is exciting. I had to take a COVID test before I went, which, thank God, came back negative. A rock concert put on by scientists sounded bizarre and potentially drab, but given that this was my chance to finally attend a concert, I got a press pass, flew to Germany, and went to see if this was a nightlife experience that I'd been missing out on all these months. Obviously, it's a bit strange because we have to wear a mask and it's a bit sweaty. I may as well not have done my makeup. But I guess it'll be interesting to see what it would be like to hold a concert post-COVID. Is it really worth going to a concert when you have to wear a COVID mask? I don't know.
So I've just arrived at the concert hall. I'm going to go and speak to a few people and see if they're enjoying themselves. What's fun about this concert?
Yeah. I think there is the option that is fun. I just hope that we can go and do some dancing, because I really miss the dancing.
Is standing outside in the rain with a face mask on really worth it?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Tim Bendzko?
I'm not that much of a fan of him.
Are you excited to see Tim Bendzko?
A bit.
No one's really here for Tim. Poor Tim.
Lots of my friends were like, oh, there's Tim Bendzko. I don't know if I want to join. Well, we are not here for him, obviously, so.
But people weren't gathering for the ultimate concert experience. They were here to participate in a tracing experiment at massive scale.
We traveled to this event because we think this is a very nice event to make a test and to help for other events in the future.
The test worked like this. Tim would perform 3 different times with a different setup for each mini concert to observe how disease might spread in a large venue depending on social distancing. The first scenario would be a typical concert with no social distancing. The second scenario would have minimal social distancing. And the third would have the recommended amount of social distancing, 5 feet between all audience members. Each participant was given a tracking device that recorded their movements through the stadium. Hand sanitizer was infused with UV light to track which surfaces people touched the most. All of this would help shed a light on how the virus would spread at a concert and would ideally lead to a conclusion on how we could still have concerts in a post-COVID reality.
Okay, firstly, I've got to ask you where you got your beer from, because I didn't know that they were selling them here.
No, they provide the beer over here. It's alcohol-free, but it's still good anyways.
Und zwar Events vermitteln Lebensfreude und bieten die Möglichkeit, mal aus dem Alltag zu fliehen. Veranstaltungen schaffen Begegnungen, Gemeinschaft und Miteinander entsteht nicht vor dem Stream, vor dem PC, sondern eben doch live vor Ort. Und die Kultur und der Sport nehmen hier eine Schlüsselrolle in unserer Gesellschaft ein, dass die Struktur dieser Branche tagtäglich bröckelt und sogar Gefahr läuft, aus meiner Meinung komplett auseinanderzubrechen.
So we're quite far back in the press bit, and to be honest, I wish I brought my glasses because I can't really see very well. But what I can see is there's not as many people here as it should be. The stadium's hardly full, but this is probably because it might not even be worth it. You know, you've got to wear a face mask, it's quite constructed, so I can kind of see why people weren't jumping at the chance for a ticket.
Genau, da wo gewonnen wird, genau, hier dieser schöne Winkel. Sehr schön. Für euch habe ich eine Überraschung, ihr dürft ganz nach vorne.
There's not enough people here, so they're moving all the people at the back to the front,
Kommt doch ein bisschen rüber, hier sind noch
which is a bit funny, really.
Kommt rüber.
Links und rechts, um sich sitzen zu haben, weil dann die Datenströme der Tracer quasi simulieren können, wie funktioniert das, wenn wirklich viele Menschen in der Halle sind. Wo sind die Tim Bendzko-Fans?
So the concert began, and while some people weren't here for the music, it wasn't all about that. It was also about the science. So I wanted to talk to Professor Michael Geckler, one of the organisers of the study, to hear more about his motives for putting this concert on.
What are you hoping to achieve today by doing this experiment?
We are hoping to generate a database that leads to a rational decision-making from the authorities. Because now we have the situation that some people say you can't do anything, so there will be no sports, no cultural events whatsoever, because the risk must be zero. And the others say, well, don't care, just do it like it were 2019. Well, and we say no, there must be a rational risk assessment. There is no zero risk, and you have to accept certain risks, but you have to know how high the risk is.
And do you think this is the future of nightlife? Is this what we're going to have to do in order to be able to go to a concert and enjoy ourselves?
No, I don't think so. It is now a tool that we are developing for pandemic situations like this. And once we have a vaccine, we are no longer will have to apply this. But I think in the future, we will have pandemic situations like this again and again. And I think it would be better that we don't experience a period like March, April and May again.
When do you predict that nightclubs will be open again?
I guess we should start getting used to concerts like this. Lame. After seeing Tim perform, I was very curious to know what it was like to play a concert as bizarre as this one.
So how did you find the concert just then?
Ja, das Konzert war bis jetzt mega entspannt. Ich hätte ein bisschen erwartet, dass es steriler ist, weil ja alle Masken aufhaben und das ja eigentlich eine Forschungssituation ist. Aber es war für uns, hat sich sehr wie ein normales Konzert angefühlt und das war auch schon richtig Stimmung. Ich wünsche mir natürlich für die Zuschauer, dass sie, wenn wir dann wieder normal Konzerte spielen dürfen, dass sie das ohne Maske tun können.
If we have to do scenario 3, so when everybody has to stand, 2 meters apart, do you think a concert is really worth it?
Das ist natürlich aus der Sicht eines Künstlers, der auf der Bühne steht, nicht das Idealszenario. Aus so einer romantischen Sicht wünscht man sich natürlich, dass alles wieder so schnell wie möglich wie früher ist. Aber am Ende ist uns alles recht, was uns, also jeder Schritt der Richtung Normalität ist am Ende uns total recht, weil es ja einfach für die gesamte Veranstaltungsbranche und für alle Branchen, die irgendwie davon partizipieren, unglaublich wichtig ist, dass wir schnellstmöglich wieder uns Richtung Normalität bewegen. Weil wenn wir das nicht tun, wird es wahrscheinlich die Hälfte Ende des Jahres einfach nicht mehr geben.
Das Einzige, was mich stört, ist, dass ihr da zu dritt sitzt.
Ja, aber das haben dann
ja, ich weiß, ihr habt euch lieb, aber das schafft er einmal. Ja? Einmal schafft er das.
Surprisingly, Scenario 3 saw the audience at their most engaged. Maybe it was just by this point in the day the audience had finally warmed up. Or maybe this marks the beginning of a new era, where people can only feel like they can be themselves at a concert if they aren't surrounded by anyone else. Strange times we're living in.
The whole concert in general was definitely an experience. I wouldn't say that I would sign myself up for something like this, and I don't think my friends would either. But the people that went seemed to have a really good time. They were all dancing, they were all singing by the end, they were all clapping. So I think it's definitely for a certain kind of person.
Following the end of the concert, I headed home to London still feeling like I missed out on the party I was craving. But 2 months later, the scientists behind the event released their findings of the concert experiment.
They're saying that the main concerns of having events like this are that people are interacting between breaks in the concert, so they're going outside and they're mingling. And once they come into contact with each other, there's obviously a lot more of a risk of getting COVID. So if we wanted to have events like this in the future, it looks like we'd have to have good ventilation in all venues, wear face masks all the time, and stay an appropriate social distancing meter or 2 apart from each other. But the one takeaway from it is that everybody that took part in the concert, around
90% of the participants were not put off by the idea of wearing a mask and going to a concert. So they're obviously happy to do it, but to be honest, it's not for me.
The published results restored some hope that concerts could soon return following the model set out with the Leipzig experiment. But with no end to the pandemic in sight, it seems clear that any future concert would have to happen with these strange restrictions. Although the test results came back from the concert and they seemed largely positive, saying that we could have events like this in the future during a pandemic, to be honest, it doesn't fill me with joy or hope because I feel like I'm so far away from having the time of my life and going to a festival with my friends. And if I do, I'm going to have to wear a face mask and stand far away from them, which obviously takes the whole fun away from going to a rave or a concert. So it's safe to say if that is the future, then I probably won't be going, which is saying a lot because I absolutely love a party, but I'll probably just have to reconsider my life and have a barbecue or something, go on a walk.